I like that hat on you.
Thanks.
You look so cute.
I'm like so like hippie today. Like not hippie, hipster.
Hipster, yeah. Hey, Kat. How are
Hi,
ya?
Sophie. I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, we're okay. We're both like bleeding on our cycles and crampy and tired. It's that time of the month. But I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, and I think you weren't on the call last week, right? On the group.
No, I can't quite remember what happened either. I slept through it, or I had family over, or something.
Yeah. No, it's all good. We actually had a lot of people last week, so maybe we won't have as many this week. So we'll just stay on for anything that you need today. Maybe give us a little update of how things are going. I know you guys were able to meet and had a really good first session. I don't know if you've met again. Second session? Okay, two sessions.
I
And
think our next one tomorrow.
Yep. I was about to say it's
Yep.
the 5th, whatever tomorrow, if it's the 5th.
Yep.
Then.
oh, tomorrow's the 5th. Yeah. Wow. We only have 25 days or something left of this month or this year. But yeah, tell us how you are. And oh, here comes Louisa. She just joined again. Maybe sharing something that is going well since we last saw you. Um, and also, yeah, we'll start with just what's going well. Hey, Louisa. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Are you
I'm
on the
commute. I'm
commuter?
not a. Yeah, I'm commuting in, but I'm almost home.
Okay, well, we'll love to see your face whenever, yeah, whenever you can.
I will.
I,
Thank
I
you.
was just saying to Kat that you two, I think, were the only ones not available last week, as it turned out. We ended up having like 7 or 8 people, and we ended up being on the call
Oh,
for like 2 hours last week.
And
no
I wasn't
way.
available, so there's three of us.
Oh, yeah. So all
Oh,
three of you that are here this week
Were
were not there last week.
That's
So, well,
funny.
yeah.
oh,
So
that is funny.
it might be a little like more intimate tonight, which is perfect. We'll just kind of get you guys the support you need. So, Louisa, I know you've I've known Louisa, just so everyone knows, I've known her for like 6 years.
Mhm. Long
And
time.
yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
So how we do these group calls now is sometimes they'll be like educational, Louisa, where I'll teach
Mhm.
something. And usually when I'm teaching, I'll invite the general public to come as well and learn. Um,
Mhm.
but a lot of the calls are either going to be breath work or just checking in about what's going well, celebrating wins, and also kind of like fine-tuning what needs support. You know, as we know, we heal better in community and we can get off track really easily. So just kind of like
Mhm.
what's been maybe not going as well, or something we're confused about, or something that needs some love, and kind of getting
Mhm.
ourselves set up for the week or so. And right now, we've been doing calls every other week, but we did just have like 5 new people, including you, join. So we may
Okay.
do it weekly. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
So I was just asking Kat, what's going well for you? What's a good positive update for us since we last talked?
Um, I guess I have two positive updates. One of them is I have regular bowel movements, so I go poop every day, at
I
least once a day,
did you hear the
and
face
they're good.
today?
And this is without any medication or any, like, no bowel mover, no, yeah, it's just my body.
Yes!
That's
Thank
just
you,
my
body.
body. Casually dropping that one in there.
Wake up.
We love poop.
Yeah.
Oh, we love it, especially when you were like not going at all and then relying on the supplement.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
congrats. Love your poop. That's
So that's
great.
been
Really
really
great.
good.
Really
And
really
then
great.
I just got my results for my thyroid.
Mhm.
So I know I was telling Carly that, like, the last time that I had gone for blood work, it was 214 for my TSH.
Wait, your TSH was 214, or your antibodies?
No, my
This
TSH.
this is literally the conversation we had. Like that reaction with me.
Wait. It's got to be a different measurement than the US.
Well, it's supposed to be no higher than 5.
Same measurement.
How were you functioning at 214?
It's not, I mean, it's my first time over 200, but
Oh
it's
my,
my third time over 100 since I was a teenager. So
whoa, Kat, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that. And I mean, oh, wow. Like, okay, so wait, so what's the update? Is it still that high?
no. So after like a month, about to say it's down to 8.
Wow.
God. Oh God,
Um,
my heart.
holy cow.
Yeah, I have my grandmother's on my paternal side. Medication just puts us on like a freaking roller coaster.
Are
So
you
we're
not on
like
any
super
meds?
sensitive to any sort of like chemical.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's interesting.
So anything man-made kind of sends us for like a really big ups and downs and spikes and stuff. So that's just a trait that I got from my grandmother and like all the females on her side of the family for like
Mm.
generations. So I'm very used to my body swinging not quite that big, but yeah.
Did you take medication
Yes.
since that shift?
Yeah, it was yeah. We jumped at I'm usually taking like 137
Mm-hmm.
and then she upped it to well, she upped it to 175, but I didn't take that one. I only took the 150.
Wow. Of the levo of the Synthroid, or was
The
it?
Synthroid, yeah.
That's incredible. That that is not just medication. There's no way. There's no way that's just medication, because if you were at 200 and you were taking 137 milligrams and then all you did increase it was 13 milligrams. Am I doing that right? Math right? Yeah. There's no way we have a swing that hard.
Yeah, mine
That's
dropped
you.
like 1 point when I
Yeah, like
started
that.
my medication.
Yeah, totally. So that's you, baby. That's you. That's you taking care of yourself. Just want to really celebrate you. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back. That's awesome. Yay, cats. Okay, perfect. Well, that must feel really good.
Yeah.
What are you noticing? Like, what differences are you noticing while you're pooping?
Big one.
Yeah, about to say I'm a little more, well, I'm a little less grinchy with the kids at school. Like I'm much better able to kind of like handle the day-to-day stuff rather than simply just going into like either wanting to run away, wanting to just hide underneath my desk, or just screaming at the kids. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not you, it's me.
So
Then
better
my
ability to
energy
handle
levels are
stress.
better.
Say that again.
My energy levels are better.
Yay.
I'm not as like super fatigued.
Yeah, that makes sense. Going from a 200 to an 8. Oh my gosh. So an 8 is still like, for most people, would make them feel really, really tired. So just to give you like a perspective, like I felt like I was pretty sick at a 4, like 4.5. So like quite honestly, I just want to say like you are basically a rock star, because I don't even know how like, you had the energy to like make any changes in your health when your TSH was that elevated. Truly, like I am in shock and awe of you and your effort and your ability to take care of yourself.
Bow down.
Yeah, like wow. Let's take some notes, cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I know I was telling Carly on our calls and stuff that I'm used to operating between 10 and 35. That's kind of where I'm used to operating since I was a kid. So
Oh
my
wow.
body's just really used to it.
Wow. Yeah. Holy smokes. Okay. Well, I'm really happy for you, and I'm really excited for you to keep going, and let's see if we can get it down even more to the
Yeah.
optimal range, which would be between 0.5 and 2. let's see what happens next. Because we've got now we can deal with some mold stuff. So we dealt with like
Oh, yay.
that probably really moved the needle for you. Yay. And also the subconscious work that you're doing with Carly. Mindset work.
Yes, that has been amazing, and I've been coupling it with Colleen. I did a records clearing with her, which was like super interesting.
Cool. The what
Yeah.
are they called? Acoustic records?
Yeah, something like that. I know how it's spelled, but I can't pronounce it to save my life. Like
Yeah, I don't
Akishark
even
or something records.
is it like past life stuff? I don't know what that is.
Well, basically, so like you have your soul contract in your heart center. So we kind of have this kind of like your life. So everything you want to know about your soul, past, present, future, is all kind of stored. She kind of says it's kind of like in your heart center in your records, but it can get really like in mine, she found a lot of dark magic
That
Wow.
checks.
in mine. So she
That's so
did
cool.
it
I
took
mean,
her
creepy, but
about
also really
so
cool.
normally it takes her about like, I don't know, 20, maybe 30 minutes to clear most clients of like all of it could be black magic, it could be white magic, gray magic. It could be all sorts of other clearings, energy clearings that needs to happen, and then put in like protection.
Wow.
It took her about an hour.
It almost
clear
makes you
mine?
wonder if like the sensitivity to like man-made stuff, like if that's been being passed down genealogically, that at some point became like a protective mechanism of some sort that was like being magnified and passed down. And like, I don't know, it's like interesting when you think about like the black magic, because it's like, nope, nobody's gonna put anything inside of me that's not pure.
Yeah, so I mean that was like she cut me off from the ancestral curse that was on my mom's side. And I don't know, it was just really, really fascinating. Like she had like a page, an 8.5 by 11 page filled in 2 columns. And it was all point form. And she's like, no wonder you felt like shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna
You
say,
must have had like 40 to 50 things that was like weighing down on my soul between curses and magic. And I was like, and like some of like the darker magic too. And I'm like, cool.
oh my gosh, that's really interesting timing too, because like you just have this big shift with your thyroid, like your energy bodies like can inform our we believe, I mean, Carly and I believe that our energy body can inform our physical body and our emotional body. So that's pretty stellar upgrades you're getting there. Very cool. I want to learn more about that. That's something that I don't know how to do. I want to like learn how to receive
I
that.
think it's energy work, right? It's mostly like
Yeah.
energy. Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you're finding all the people and the modalities and the coaches that help you heal.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because now you have like the physical body, the energetic spiritual body, the emotional body, right? The mindset. So you've got all the bodies covered.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, and look
I
at the
think it's
results you're getting.
important, but to say I found in the past, if I only try to heal one part of me, it moves me a little bit, but it like nothing like this year by
Yeah,
finding
you can only
mentors,
go as
great
fast
coaches,
as
and
like
one.
the slowest part of you can heal. And so if we try to take like the pathway of the parts that are able to go faster, eventually, like it's like a rubber band, the other parts are going to snap you back.
That
Ooh,
makes sense.
that's a good lesson for other Katrina too. I feel like we've had seen that experience before. I love that, Carly. Amazing cat.
I don't know from experience.
Me either. No, I never go too fast. Okay, other Katrina. I don't even know if it's Lassigard or Lassigard. I've known you for a year.
Lassigard.
Really?
Lassigard. Yep.
That's so fun. In my head, it was not that for a whole year. Okay.
No.
It was another
Lasgard
thing.
or something is usually what people say, but Lassigard is what Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us a update on what's going well.
I am self-care mixing it up today, and it's great. I feel much better than I did a couple hours ago, which is good. Just got up from work. I planned to play pickleball. So I played pickleball, and then after an hour and 15 minutes, I was like, I'm done now. Usually I'd push through for the 2 hours because I signed up for the 2 hours, even though I'm not paying as part of my membership. And at an hour and 15, I was like, I'm ready for a sauna, cold plunge. So I did that. And and then my daughter called. That's why I'm late. But party. What's going well? Lots of information gathering and gathering of books and preparatory stuff for the January retreat. I'm 3/4 of the way through the Women in Hormones book. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it and just trying to plan ahead if and when I go keto, and then doing research on data gathering on the going off of my antidepressant or anti-anxiety, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm noticing my stress is relieved overall because my husband's retired now. So I don't feel like I mean, he and I both were always tired after work, but he has more energy to do stuff around the house. Not that he's necessarily doing it like every day, but I can get up. If I get overwhelmed, I look at the house and go, we can do that. And then I go to work, and then I come home, and if it's not done, I'm like, oh, you didn't get to it today. And then on the weekends, we might work together on something. But just the concept of like someone else is able to pick up that ball, you don't have to own it, is and I thought I'd be resentful or whatever. And I mean, don't get me wrong, when he's still sleeping in bed, I wish I could sleep too sometimes. But it's working really well, better than I thought it would. I had kind of planned to get into therapy with him preemptively to make sure that we made that transition together. So that's going well. I've been walking, and it's too cold out here, and I elected just to get pickleball exercise instead today, and that was great. So yeah, and managing the work stress. I've been overwhelmed the last couple days and last week, but just kind of putting it in perspective. And then I hit a wall today, and I was just like, I'm done. I got up and left my computer and went and laid in bed for 15 minutes. So I was like, that's it. And recharged. So it's good.
Oh, okay. So no wins then, really, just pretty much not doing anything, sitting on your hands,
Yeah.
not being active or proactive for your health at all.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of work too. And I find that my mind is overwhelmed by all the possibilities of what I can do and what actions I can take. And then it just is the mental of like, you don't have to do it right now. You can
Mhm.
approach this slowly. It's a lot, it's a lot, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah,
It's all-
I'm really proud of you for doing all of the things that you mentioned over the last few minutes. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Any one of those things is like enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to just reflect back to you that, I also am seeing you make a lot of really big changes all at once,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the timing of the retreat and your desire to come off of the whatever the letters are, SSRI, and all of that. And so I know that Eleanor and I spoke to you about this, but like, you're really right. You don't have to do all of it all at once. And when you make just one small change at a time, then it's easier to kind of control how things are reacting for you. So
Yeah.
you can really do that. And I think it's great that you're reading the book and kind of getting educated about the keto option. I think that for you would be really helpful, even if it's not like 100%, like even if it's just a slight shift.
Mhm.
to help your mood during the transition, to stabilize blood pressure, and just kind of keep your brain and cognition, as sharp as it can be when you make a really big change, like going down on your meds. It's a huge shift that Carly and I both have done. So I'm really proud of you. I'm excited to get your neuro focus test and your GI map. And we'll kind of support that as well. And we'll just do one step at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be great. It'll be good.
Have you spoken to your provider about the anti-anxieties?
Yeah. So I had a meeting yesterday with her. She's just an MD or I don't know, nurse practitioner or something. I was shocked actually. She said her advice, so I'm on 150 milligrams of extended release Wellbutrin, which is we've learned now, and not an SSRI, but something else. And she said 2 weeks, and you cut them in, or don't cut them in half, but she'll give me a standard release 75 milligram, like half, take that each day after 2 weeks, and then you're done. And I was like, that feels really fast to me. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Can we talk about something different? And then she said, okay, well, we could, if you want to go slower, you could do, blah, blah, blah. And we talked through the options, and then landed at, a month, and a plan for a month. And then if at any point it's not going okay, I'll just message her and she adjusts and we can figure it out. So
good. Yeah, good for you.
She was super supportive, and I was able to, the last time I talked to her was when I first started working with Sophie, and I was having PMS and symptoms and incredibly sore boobs and just moody, and a couple days in the month where it was like really dark days, like not good mentally, and a bunch of other things. And so, she was asking questions, and I listed out for her, like, these are the things that have happened over the last year. And she was like, holy shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, been working hard. It's fun. So she was pleasingly open, and, and we did a blood test, and she said everything looked normal and you're fine. And I was like, thank you so much for your help. I'll take the blood test covered by my insurance. Which at some point I just switched insurance, which means I should be able to easily get another blood test done when I want to. But anyway, so yes, long answer for you, Carly.
Anxiety is an interesting one because it can stem from like inflammation and hormones, and it can also become kind of like a habit of the body. So I just wanted to like bring that into your awareness as you're choosing to come off of it, that if it starts arising, just kind of like start to notice what it's around, and we can talk about that together. And it sounds like you have support as well for like the medication side of things. Like, I'm not a doctor, but anxiety is just really interesting when you get to understand it conceptually, and like the body can habituate the sensation of anxiety as like a mediator response to other things, kind of like putting up a wall between you and like the other things as a protective mechanism. So like it can become habit of the body, and there's ways of alleviating that as well in other modalities.
Yeah. That'd be good. It'd probably I'm kind of gathering information and data and thinking through the strategies, so it might not be a bad idea for us to touch base if you're open to it. I'm working with Sophie on the Neuro Focus panel and what support I would need there, and then had a conversation with Eleanor, so we'll see what I end up doing. But I am going to need support at the end of the day.
And you
emotional
might
support.
be pleasantly surprised as well by the shifts in diet and other stuff, and how different that feels now, like versus when you went on them to begin with. So yeah. Sometimes there's emotions under the anxiety that not feeling the anxiety allows us to not feel the emotions under it. So I just like that also, it might not be your journey. And I just want to like let you know that that's like completely normal and part of the process.
Yeah. No, I was on, that makes sense. And I was on Reddit for the last couple of days, just kind of doing research about like what have people experienced coming off of Wellbutrin. And it ranges from not that big of a deal to it was horrendous and but I've been on it for a long time, so
Hmm.
I'm guessing my body is maybe used to it. But I think there's a lot of power in the mind and what you tell yourself and how you imagine things leaving your body and not being welcome anymore or whatever it is, right? So
Yep.
versus facing it with fear and I'm scared of what's going to happen and it's going to own me and whatever. So
Yeah, and like reminding yourself and bringing in safety. So if the physical sensations of the anxiety were to come back up, like now that you have the mental resourcing of like reminding yourself that like this is not actually like I'm not actually back where I was when I was feeling this the first time. Like look where we
Right.
are now, like look at what
Right.
resources I have now, and like finding ways to allow it to be safe to feel it.
And feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, you might not have to, but I mean, part of the trick to sometimes managing on a day to day when we're able to come off of medications is sometimes it's not necessarily like you're never going to feel it again, but like what you're able to do in the situation when you are feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish someone had shared that with me before I came off of my antidepressant, was like the muting effect that it can have on emotions. And so then without that stabilization or that foundation I had gotten used to through all of my 20s, then when it was gone, I was like, oh no, I'm feeling depression, or I'm feeling sadness, or I'm feeling anxiety, or I'm feeling rage or whatever. And I made that to mean that there was something like wrong with me for feeling those things. And so that actually made the feeling worse versus it just being a feeling that needed to be processed, that I needed to have a temper tantrum or scream into the pillow or punch the pillow or call Carly and cry or do 20 jumping jacks or like whatever it was that I needed to just feel the fucking feeling and like get it and acknowledge it and why it's there and then release it. And so I want to say it took me, Katrina, like I'm probably just now getting to the place. It's been 3 years, I think, just now getting to the place where like when those emotions come up, I have enough awareness where I'm like, oh, that's okay. It's okay that you're feeling that. For the last 6 months or so, I've been like, it's okay. So yeah. And that
I think there might be some parts work there too, right? Like whenever you're feeling a thing, like, oh yeah, that's I don't remember who you said. There's a teacher, Alice or something, in your shoulder. I don't remember what it was, but
my part, yeah, I forget my part's name now. I did have she lived in my
but yeah, but that was helpful to me too, of just imagining like, okay, it's not my whole being that is depressed or my whole being. It is, there's some part of me that needs attention. Let's give it attention.
Or sometimes it's like, what are you trying to protect me from feeling?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
The body's telling
find
me something.
in like the work that I've done, and so other people model the world or the way they experience it might be a little different. But like in the work that I've done to like kind of decompose like emotional body, physical body, anxiety, depression, and apathy are sort of more like states of being that kind of like are protecting us from the emotional experience, or like there's something that and sometimes the emotional experience is happiness and joy, right? Like, so just keep that in mind as well. When we are numbing out to feeling like low lows, there's also now room for expansion for your high highs. So that part's really liberating and really exciting. But like the parts of you who aren't used to feeling it might get confused by it.
Yeah. The idea that my emotions are numbed now, it makes sense, but I've been on citalopram or Lexapro, and that was super numbing. I felt like my head was always in a cloud. So yeah, the idea that there's a larger range of emotions than what I already feel, because I feel like I have a pretty good range, at least like I think about. But then when I was reading online, so many people were talking about the brain fog that they had, and then how it went away when they were off, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I have, I mean, I have not, I don't think I have brain fog, but I've been this, I mean, I had really bad brain fog. Anyway, I wonder if there's more clarity
Yeah,
to
that's
come
one of the
even.
interesting things that like one of my doctors had said to me when my TSH was like literally like in the red, and she was like, it's fine. And I was saying how like I'm symptomatic, and she was like, people come in with double these numbers and they're not symptomatic, they're fine. And I was like, no, they're symptomatic, they're just used to having those symptoms that they don't recognize that they're symptomatic. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
we're all
normal for them.
figuring out how to survive. To Kat's
Hmm.
point about what her body's used to running at, right?
Also,
Like,
yeah. Also, you're way more resourced up than I was when I started the journey. I didn't know that, like, I didn't have processing. Like, I hadn't processed anything at that point. I just, like, my processing was taking medication. I didn't know that there was more work that I needed to be doing. So, and
yeah,
it was, for me, it was coming off the medication that opened up my world to recognizing, like, there's something not right that's happening here. So,
hmm,
just like, yeah, you have so much more awareness, so much more resourcing, so many more tools. So
yeah,
your journey will be your journey.
yeah, yeah,
You're also
yeah,
you're I just looked it up. So Wellbutrin is affecting norepinephrine, epinephrine like dopamine or catecholamines. So it's going to be more related to motivation and like more like can be about like energizing or not energizing and versus like serotonin, which is I mean they both can impact like happiness, but serotonin is like the one we associate more with like the happiness one. So it might also be really different because you're not on a Escalopram. That's what I was on. I was on Lexapro. So we'll see what happens. And we're gonna
yeah,
center our focus in your gut and also the uh retreat will
yeah,
be for rewiring the brain and supporting there.
yeah,
So awesome. Um,
yeah,
cool. Does that feel good for right now?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Louisa, you've been, are you home yet? I know you were on the train. Have you been on since the beginning? And also, hi, Shikana. It's good to see your face.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm almost home.
almost home. Okay, well, I know we haven't had our kickoff call, but I know you've also
Yeah.
been in my world for years. So tell us one thing that's going well this week for you, and also anything that feels like it could use some support before we meet on Monday to kind of give you a plan of what to do next.
Sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just more like now that we're going to start working together, just getting myself organized again. I know there's definitely some things that I identify that I want to work on, right? One of those is movement and like finding time to like exercise and stuff like that. So, I finally decided to like subscribe, or join a gym. So hopefully that would push me to like go and and spend an hour and a half and just go and take some time for myself. Because I feel like, I have stuff at home, but it's like with the kids, I'm like just doing stuff around the house. Like I never can get myself to do something at home. Like it's hard. So I feel with this being outside of the house and me having to pay money for it, right? That hopefully it would push me to take some time out for myself and start going. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I'm gonna try to go Friday and like and over the weekend. So that's one positive.
So
And yeah,
and
and then I
let's celebrate that for you as well. Really pause.
okay.
Just noticing a theme here on the call where we run through the wins like this is uncomfortable. Let's just move on. That's amazing, Louisa. That's a huge step, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious, just because like the reason why we do things is really matters. I was talking about this on last week's call, which none of you were on, but Tracy, Katrina's sister, was like, I know I should be meditating. And I'm like, well, wait a second, like, why should you be meditating? Like, who
Mhm.
said that? Right. So I'm just curious, like, Louisa, what's your why behind wanting to work out? Like, what's your,
I mean,
toward?
I feel better.
Yeah.
I definitely notice it when I do it more consistently. Like I do feel better, and I know that it's like even just the mood, the energy, like like your body feels better, you don't feel as stiff, so I know because I've gone through it in the past, and I know that if I stick to it and do it consistently, that I do see the results. So I know it's like one of those things that, like you go through it, you know what you can get out of it, but things happen, right? And you get out of a routine. So it's just a matter of kind of like getting back to it. So
Awesome. That sounds like a great reason. Before y'all got on the call, Carly and I were talking about that, but for nutrition. Um,
Mhm.
because I was doing a cleanse before Thanksgiving, and Buffalo is a really hard place to eat well in. It's just very challenging. And I was really shocked at how badly I chose to eat last week in terms of just like inflammatory foods. But I was really grateful that it happened, because I was telling Carly, like, I just do not feel well when I eat certain foods. Like, it makes me brain fogged, it makes me irritable, it makes me have problems sleeping, it hurts my gut, hurts my joint. It's like just not worth it. Like, it's not, any part of it is just not worth it for me. And so it's like sometimes I almost feel like, Louisa, I needed the reminder, like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
You don't want to do that, right? So I hope that like this little break from not working out and then getting to do it again and starting to see those feelings will be like enough of a reminder, you know what I mean, to kind of stick with.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. And like you said with the food, right? Like that's another thing that I mentioned to you that I want to get back to um eating more, like, like eating less processed food, doing the gluten free. Like I know there's things that I learned, with our time together that kind of I have gotten away from, and I know from experience that it has helped me. So it's just a matter of kind of like, hopefully I can get back to all that, retrain myself, right? Like everything that I learned and kind of put it again into practice.
Absolutely. And one thing at a time.
Yes, one thing at a time. I
Yeah.
agree.
Awesome. Okay, good. So I know you were gonna keep going with the sentence before I paused you. So what else were you gonna say?
No, I think that was the main thing. That was the main positive, I would say, for
Awesome.
this week.
Great big positive. I love it.
Thank you.
And I know we're gonna meet and get more specific on Monday, but is there anything
Mhm.
else that feels like it could use some support, or like that you have questions about in terms of like nutrition or any other steps yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm okay for now. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll meet Monday and I'll give you a plan, and then some
Mhm.
resources and meal plans and grocery guides, and we can all share in all of that. And I think maybe also something we could talk about is what we want to do, what you decide you want to do for the holiday coming up if you
Mm.
celebrate Christmas. I know it can be really tough
Yeah.
to like kind of get fully committed to something like right before the holidays, but something that Katrina
Uh-huh.
and her sister Tracy are doing is they've been reading this book called Women, Food, and Hormones, which is just kind of getting them in the mindset of what they want to start to shift when January comes. So that could be
Oh,
something,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
still an action step towards what you want, right? Without
Yeah,
necessarily
definitely.
changing
Hmm.
everything right before it's going to be more challenging for us sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. And also Shikana, welcome, my friend. We were just sharing some amazing wins and areas that might need some support. Before you hopped on, Kat was sharing that she had a huge win of going to the bathroom every day without needing any support, and that she also dropped her thyroid stimulating hormone down from a 200 over 200 to an 8. So we're celebrating Kat. And Katrina was sharing all of the amazing steps she's taking in terms of like educating herself on nutrition and starting to think about coming down off of her antidepressant, and just noticing where it's been challenging to make changes too. So we're sharing wins, things that are going well first, and then if there's anything that feels like it could use support. If you want to unmute, you can just share.
Yeah, hi. So sorry I was late. Like I was just eating dinner. My notifications aren't coming across or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And anyway, I was like, oh crap, it's like 6 o'clock. So I ran and hopped on real quick. But anyway,
Glad you're here now. It's perfect.
yeah, yeah. Um,
What's going well? What's something you're celebrating?
I would say, like the small win would be, I had a crazy week last week with family in town and traveling and all the Thanksgiving food over and over again and all of that. But I did get back on Sunday night and made my breakfasts, overnight oats and things like that, to try to start the day out or start the week out back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I would say, would be my win for the week was I was able to do that.
Heck yeah. F yeah. Try not to curse too much. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm really happy for you. That's like it's an interesting transition, right? Like we're going, people are in our house or we're traveling, and in my case, you're stuck in a blizzard for 13 hours in a car, just a lot of things. And then you get to, come back to reality and be like, oh yeah, how do I do this again?
Yeah, yeah. And that's like I'm trying to not be mad at myself. Like when we traveled, I forgot to take my big tub of stuff because I don't normally travel with a big tub of stuff. So like I missed a couple of days and tried to get, I'm trying to get back on that. But
Forgot
yeah,
my,
so just trying. You forgot yours too?
yep, forgot all of my anti-inflammatory. Like we got in the car, we were like maybe an hour into the drive to New York, and I was like, oh no, I like left all of my supplements. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna have to reroute. I actually went to Whole Foods and bought some turmeric just for inflammation support because I was like, okay, this is the best I can do. So
Yeah,
I was mad at myself, and then I just had to let it go.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm like. I can't do anything about it now. So anyway, yeah, I'd say that's what's going well. I think I'm just really trying, to mirror Louisa, like trying to just be consistent because I just feel like everything is just very inconsistent, work wise and schedule wise and kids and all of that stuff. So, like I did quickly walk the dogs tonight, just to get some movement in, because we didn't. We had snow. We didn't have 13 inches of snow, but we had a little bit of snow, and it was 50 degrees today, and tomorrow is supposed to be like 22 for a high. So not going to be outside tomorrow, but yeah. So I think just trying to like ease back into the normal is the plan for the week.
Okay, perfect. We talked last week. It's just an interesting time of year because it's so cold. We talked last week around like ideas, you guys, for workouts. I'm just curious if anyone. I sounds like Louisa, you got a gym membership, and I think I don't know if you were on Chicana when Katrina said she started doing pickleball, which I love too, and I love it. Like it's super fun, and I am actually that's gonna be my to do is to look into if I can join something that's like a sign up because I notice if it's just willy-nilly, then I won't do it. But if it's like, oh, you got to go at this time. So I
Mhm.
don't know if that's hers, any ideas. I know Carly was saying that she just put her like clothes on the heater or something, or you told someone to do that so that you could like heat yourself up like your leggings. And
Oh,
and like also table tennis was something or paddle tennis is something I played when I was in Buffalo. That was really fun. So I just like thought it would be cool if we all talked about ideas for the winter because it's so easy to just not do anything with exercise. I don't know if anyone else has any ideas, but that's
Yeah,
just
also like the reminder that cold, like the cold like literally constricts our blood vessels. And like when you think about our circadian rhythms, it is like a natural evolutionary, like feeling more tired in the winter in the cold weather is like a natural part of our body cycles.
yeah, totally. I've been feeling that for sure. More tired, more rest, which is great.
But let's
so
hack it.
Let's still move our bodies a little bit.
I thought of you today. I had to hop in the car. So I thought of you today though, because it's so cold here in Minnesota, and I hit the top stair and I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk before pickle. And then I was like, I'm gonna go on the treadmill before pickle. And thank God they have a treadmill at the pickleball court. Because I was like, I don't know if I can get outside. But my husband and I did a brainstorming session with this together. I asked for, they make these, I'll post them as soon as I figure out who the manufacturer is. My friend told me about a pair of boots that have like studs in them that are natural for walking in the winter, so you don't have to worry about slipping on the ice. Now that also means that you'd have to want to go outside when it's super cold, but I will say I've been trying to shift my mindset because for a while, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would get up, I would put all my layers on, and I would go out in the darkness and walk with my dog with his little boots on. And it was so peaceful and quiet in the morning. And then now that I took that trip to Iceland, when I've been walking in the dark, I have this new appreciation for the dark. And maybe I sound like you're like, no, you're nuts. I'm not going to go walk in the cold, and that's fine too. But I have this appreciation for the dark, and I'm starting to try to shift my mindset for, okay, what if I just like embrace the cold, dress appropriately for it? Clearly, I love the idea of putting warm your clothes on, something warm to warm them up. That's amazing too. But anyway, so boots and appropriate attire, and maybe there's a mindset shift. I think there might be for me, because I've been waking up in the morning, I'm like, ugh, no way. And now I'm starting to think like, okay, maybe I'm ready. So there you go. And I kind of want a trampoline to jump on too.
I love it. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Katrina. Yeah, it's definitely I think it is like mindset for that for sure. Cause yeah, even me, I'm like, oh, it's cold, I wanna like don't want to do that. But we lived in Estes up in Rocky Mountain National last year, and it was really cold. I mean, like really nasty cold. But one thing that I found that was really fun was I got snowshoes, and we would just go snowshoeing in the parks. So I don't know if anyone else has like access to nature where there is like a lot of snow, but we would do that at night actually, and it was so peaceful. Like there was no one out, the stars were out, the moon was out, and it was really, really special. So much so that we are like planning trips to go back up to the house this winter just so we can do that at night. So there's lots of little hacks. I think we won't do it if we're like, this sucks. We got to find something we enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's something that I hadn't really thought about until you were talking about it, Katrina. Like I used to do that too. I used to get up at like 5 a.m. I would put on all the layers, I'd walk the dogs. And now I'm like, well, my oldest dog is 13. She has arthritis. I don't want her to slip and fall. Like she's cold and I'm older. And I didn't really think about this, but I live in the city now. Like I don't like walking in the dark now. And I feel like it's an environmental thing because I've always lived in rural Illinois, and like I had access to quiet and to streets, and like it wasn't a big deal to be walking in the streets at 5 a.m. with my dog, like it was no big deal. And now like I don't want to do that. Like it's more of a safety thing. But I do thoroughly enjoy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy like being out, like you said, the peacefulness. Like once you're out there, it's fantastic. So yeah, that's something to think about. I'm actually thinking like just to swing the other way is I might try like a yoga class or something, because like it's a schedule thing. My wrist still sucks, but like I can modify, I think. So, but it would be a scheduled thing where I could go to a yoga class and just like lay and move and like do like a winter routine versus trying to force the outside.
Sorry. I love the idea of yoga for you. I think that's like really good, intuitive leaning in there. Like the idea of bringing in gentle movement because like, yeah.
Love that for you too. Yeah, just because you have so much like movement, like you're always in the car running from thing to thing, and you got the kids, and it's like it would be so beautiful for you to have something that would be peaceful and still get your, exercise in.
Yeah, and I could do that early or late, I feel like. So like I could get everybody else settled and I could just go and do it and come back. Like whereas other things, it feels like it's like and Louisa was saying this, like it feels like it's an interruption of the day versus like going with the flow. But I could get up early and do an early class or do a late class when everybody else is chilling. So that might be a goal.
That's great. Well, why don't you like let us know, and if you want some accountability, you can put it in the group, or
Okay.
you can private chat. But I know Katrina, you've been putting a lot of stuff in the group for accountability, which we love. So
Yes.
maybe that'll inspire someone else too. One thought that I have is like maybe it's like looking for what time there would be a class in your neighborhood. So I've been trying to do that for my own yoga classes, and it's helping me. Then I just put it on the calendar, and then it's like we said, like it's a plan, just like anything else is. So let us know how that goes.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah, and it'll probably feel really good to have something like that, because then it could be like that you said you started with saying things haven't been consistent. Like you're kind of doing stuff, but then you're stopping. So maybe if there's something like that that's always on your calendar, it'll help you feel that it's like sense of accomplishment of something consistent.
Yeah. Even if it's only one morning a week, like I feel like I could do, schedule my patients around one morning session, and that would be easy.
Yeah, it's the opening. You're finding the opening, right? Because
Yeah.
starting off low and slow has so much potential and possibilities without the like possibility of overdoing it too, right?
Yeah, like on December 18th for our group call, I actually invited Mary Belanti, who just graduated. She's actually been with me for 3 years. And one of the biggest lessons that she learned that she's going to share is just that low and slow really does win the race. If you try to do too much, you just kind of get frustrated because you can't get consistent with it, and then you know what I mean? So I really think that would be great. Once a week, And then you know what's cool about that too? I bet if you really like it, it'll like create more motivation for whatever the next step is, whether that's a second class or something else. Whereas like sometimes I notice with like myself with health related things, if I take on too much and then I'm not consistent, and then I don't get that dopamine hit, right? Of like, oh, I did something and it feels good, then I just get frustrated and don't do anything. So I love that. Yay. All right. We're almost at an hour, but I realized with people coming in a little bit late and staggered that first cat, you only got to share wins. So is there anything that you needed in terms of your next steps with protocols or nutrition that you didn't get a chance to say or ask? You went first. Okay. Beautiful.
No, I'm pretty good about to say. I think it was just good to listen to what everyone else was saying to kind of, because I know one of my big things is like just inconsistency. About to say I start something and then I start off strong and then I'm throwing up for 5 weeks. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, did you ever figure out, was that from teaching the kids? Was it like a
We don't know. Doctor met with the doctor and she doesn't know either.
oh man,
But it seems to be okay. I've been able to eat regular food now for this is going into my second week
amazing.
of
Yay.
being able to hold food. So I mean, I don't know. It's just the inconsistency and being able to find a ways so that like when my body gets really, really sick physically, to still being able to keep some sort of consistency, like especially with like movement. Cause like I know Shikana was talking about like yoga and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, it's like I used to do yoga like 3 times a week. And then I was down and out for the count for almost 4 months. Where
Mm.
just getting off the couch was like, oh, that's moving mountains. So I'd stopped doing yoga and it's like that was over a year ago and I haven't gone back to it.
You know, it's kind of an interesting conversation we're having, right? Because it's like a theme I'm hearing. And I want to share this kind of like lighthearted part about this. So my dad was going to the gym. This was a couple of years ago. He was going to the gym every single day or like something ridiculous, like 5 times. I was like, well, who are you? Like my 65-year-old father going to the gym like more than I was. And then he stopped going. And I was like, what's going on? And he said his headphones broke. And the only motivation for him to go to the gym was he got to listen to his shows and his music. So I say that because, I mean, it sounds so silly, and he could have just bought new headphones, but he just needed me to tell him, hey, Dad, why don't you just buy some new headphones? And then he did, and then he started going to the gym again, right? So it's like there's always going to be reasons why we say we can't do something. And I think we have to also be honest with ourselves about when there really are real reasons, like the fact that your TSH was over 200. Like, I don't know how you got off the couch at all. I don't know how you went to work. I don't know how you picked up a call to talk to me about your health. I don't know how you did anything. So, like, going to yoga 3 times a week might not have been available for you during that time. And maybe now it sounds like you're having better energy and you're feeling so much better. So maybe now it is an option. So then if it is, then it's just about, oh yeah, that's right. I'm in a new phase of life and I'm choosing something new, you know? I think we think that it has to be like this stagnant thing for our whole lifespan, and that's just not reality, right? We get pregnant, we get divorced, we get married, we move, we whatever. There's so many things that can happen that can shift our routine, and that's okay. I think it's just once we get settled, deciding do we still want to be the person that's not moving, if we feel like we have it available to us energy wise. And if not, then just making that choice, right? So if you're feeling like you're, finally having enough energy to maybe go to a yoga class, what if you just went with like an open mind and a beginner's mindset around it? Like, I'm just gonna go and see how it goes. And if I like it, maybe I'll go again. Um, versus us punishing ourselves for like not being consistent. Yeah. Does that sound good for
Thanks,
everybody?
Sophie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I would love to hear, Kat, if you go and how it goes for you. Yes, yoga with Adrian. Katrina says, I love.
Such good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm it's winter. I'm with Carly now, wearing my stocking cap. Yeah, I just love her. So, I mean, I don't know, when I had kids running around my house, there wasn't really a reality unless I was up at 5 a.m. to have a quiet yoga session because they were always going to be in my space. But I absolutely, when I just need to get a little bit motivated to do some, like I'll do like the 10-minute wake up yoga with her.
I love that
She's,
one.
or like there's an 11-minute for relaxation and she has those programs. I think every year she rolls out a new program every January, and it's a 30-day program, which I've loved also. I don't love the pressure of having to do it every day. So I decided one year that I was just going to do the 30 days and however many days it took me. And it was June before I finished it, but I was so proud that I did the whole thing. Anyway, I love her, and I love her. She's just gentle with her teaching and I don't know, forgiving. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and I find it to be fantastic. So I don't know if that helps.
It's just such a good reminder. I love yoga with Adrian. I totally forgot about that. It's on YouTube. It's awesome. It's free. Like Katrina said, she has those, you can search by low back pain or full
Yeah.
flow or 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So I find it really hard to do a full flow, like a full 60-minute on my own. If I'm in a class, I can do it, but if I'm at home by myself, the motivation is just not there. So if I'm going to do that, I usually pick like a 15-minute flow or something. Right? That's a great reminder. Thank you, Katrina.
Yeah. Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, you guys are, I'm with you. I'm not any better I'm working on the movement is like my big goal this year. Turning 35 is finding ways to be consistent. Actually, that is like my specific goal is to find what I like and to be consistent with it. So I'm going to be working through it myself. Awesome. Anyone need anything else? Questions? Support? Before we hop? Okay. So let me just check the calendar real quick. So I think we have something next week. Do we have something? No, next week, I think. Oh, no, we do on Thursday. So Thursday the 12th, and that actually, I believe that one is breath work, for anyone who wants to come. And then the last call of this year will be the 18th. That right? Something like that? Nope. Yeah, the 18th. And I got to see Mary in person in Buffalo, and we talked about some of the things that worked really well for her to finally kind of get to a place where she feels, I mean, she looks transformed. It's incredible to just see like her, she looks lighter, she's so happy. And so I wanted her to share some of her story and kind of where she was and what's been going well and what's been working for her. And I'm gonna record it and have everyone be on silent and actually turn it into a podcast as well. And then we'll have time to talk to her afterwards. And she's been through a lot of trauma, a lot of different things, and it took her the time it took. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I want her to teach you guys. So that'll be our kind of like next 2 sessions through 2025. And then I know I'm going to be taking a lovely long break for Christmas, and then we'll be back in January with some more calls. Good? All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.